Back, ladies and gentlemen, to the JT Foxx Show, co-hosted with my good friend Jason Gilbert, one of the country's top commercial real estate experts here, creatively, and also some sort of a political expert.
Political opiner, if you will.
I want to say, if anybody, our show is about wealth creation and wealth preservation, among other issues, of course. Mm-hmm. And basically, the theme of the show is that together we can make a difference in your success. And business is not about being a lone wolf anymore. You need to be together. You need to be on the same page, and we need to do it strategically and together. And if people want to listen to some of our past shows with guests like Trump and Kiyosaki and all the top guests, go to jtfoxshow.com. That's Fox with two X's, jtfoxshow.com. And also, we'll be on the radio tomorrow at 3 o'clock. If you also want to call in, it's 312-642-5600, 312-642-5600. We've got about 20 people here in the studio as guests. Applaud here. Let's... For me, Jason. I just want to point that out.
Okay, JT.
Okay, and we have some questions. People in the studio too who want to ask some questions.
We have a question from Rhonda here, one of my students that's at my 3-day boot camp right now on commercial real estate, creative commercial real estate. Rhonda, what's your question?
I deal Go ahead. My bad.
I deal with investors in Ohio, and
my condolences.
That's the problem. We have investors out there that are wanting to get more properties, especially in the situation that Ohio is in right now, in Toledo, all over Ohio, and they are wanting properties like now. We're wanting to help people get out of this situation, that leaving vacant properties, abandoned properties, get them sold and get people in these properties. But you have investors out there that want them, but they're sometimes held up against bank lenders that were given all this money to help us. Well, they put restrictions on investors so that they can only buy or have loans on so many properties, okay? But the investors are the ones trying to solve the problems out here, that are trying to buy them.
You know what I don't like is that you're doing such a great job on the radio. They might fire me on Monday and put her in her place. Or I might replace Jason.
Not happening.
Well, you do actually a pretty good job. I was like, man, this is not good for me.
Well, let's go ahead and define the problem, and then I can give you some feedback on it.
Why can't the banks give us more properties that we can buy,
or allow the investors who want to buy to buy? Well, you're right. First of all, there is a problem. The problem is, and it's worse than what you say. It's not that investors have too many loans. I have a good friend who walked into Bank of America recently, and they said to him, "I'm sorry, we can't loan you any money for any houses that you want to buy as an investor." And he said, "Why not? All the houses I own are free and clear. I don't have a single loan on any of my houses." And they said, "Sorry, you own too many." He didn't even borrow any money, and he still can't get a loan.
And you're also forgetting, too, the fact that, and I told a story about an hour ago, that I bought a new flat screen, 70-inch flat screen TV, home into theater statement at Best Buy, and it had a 3-year...
That's nice, JT. What does that have to do with the bank's lending money?
I'm about to get that. Thanks for playing. And I'm cutting you off. There we go. You can't talk anymore. Here, try talking. Your mic's cut off. Yeah, how's that working out for you today? Oh, I got to cut you off. Anyways, back to my story. So I went in there. There was no interest, no payments for 3 years, right? And so I have a credit score of 780, and I went in, and they turned me down for $15,000. I could not get a bank loan for $15,000. Isn't that amazing? 780 credit score, no debt, no nothing.
Well, let's talk about why that is.
No, but hold on. One of the things with the banks, the problem is that they're waiting for the Obama to still bail them out. That's why they're still hesitant. They're still waiting for a handout. Everybody's getting a handout. Why not the banks?
That's part of it, but that's where we're putting our finger on the problem. Why are they doing that? The banks aren't as dumb as everybody makes them out to be in the media. The banks know, as I said earlier on the show, right now, what caused this economic collapse was a tsunami of foreclosures, and there's another one coming. It's coming in 2010 and 11. It's the same kind of chart that we saw before. It's a bunch of arms that are going to be resetting, and people will not be able to make their payments, and the banks know it, and they're bracing for that. So they're taking all the money that the governments give them, and they're hoarding it, and they're hanging on to it, and they're using it right now. They're only lending in very small circumstances, and they're buying other banks, and they're shoring up for this, to brace for this second wave of foreclosures.
You know what the problem with the banks? You know what the problem with banks? It's legalized gambling. They're taking my money, your money, investing in things they should not be investing in, okay? And then they're losing money, and they're closing down. Here in Illinois, they closed 6 banks, right, last week. 6 banks. and their people lost a lot of money. It's legalized gambling, and they're playing Russian roulette with our money. And you know what the worst part of it? We're getting 0.2% interest. It's a true outrage. It's unfair to the people. And you know what? The banks, they're just washing their hands. If there's all this crime, all this outrageous, how come nobody's going to jail? How come no one's being prosecuted? It's an outrage, and we're going to take your phone calls after the break. We are live here today, 312-642-5600, 312-642-5600. Voice your opinion. You're listening to the JT Foxx Show with my good friend and co-host, Jason Gilbert. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back. And also, check out our website, jtfoxshow.com, for past shows and more information. Get the banks out of here.
All right, good job. Good job.